Hello Pisces, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free, doesn't cost you anything. All right. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. And remember that I'm just the messenger, so I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards. Use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And Pisces, the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Now we begin with a Seven of Cups. This is a good card. This is the ability to see through illusion, right? This is the ability to know when things in your life are not what they seem, right? You can see to the essence of things. This is the confidence that you'll know, let's say a toxic relationship when you see it. You'll know when something is meant for you and when it is not, okay? This is very deep spiritual insight with that Seven of Cups. Also 10 of Swords, the Devil energy. Queen of Wands, 8 of Wands, 10 of Wands. We have the Prince of Swords, the 2 of Wands, a lot of fire already. There is the Moon, there is your power card. And the 6 of Pentacles. We are going through the darkness to get to the light. Right? This is in some ways, this is the light at the end of the tunnel. All right? And to get there, we've got to go through the tunnel. And that is the Moon card. And I think this full moon is really, really important for you. This is the last of the full moon readings that I'm doing, and I think this is the one where kind of everything comes together, where we are able to get away from distraction, to get away from illusion. Here's the mystery card. Mr. Ed goes right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Okay. And if at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. All right. Let's do it together. Let's make it a collective group exercise in intuition. All right. I think it'll be fun. All right, let's take a look around the room now because we have just these two major arcana cards. The Devil and the Moon. Interesting. We've got fire, 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 fire. A little bit of water. We've got some air here. And then we've got our earth energy at the end. Everything is manifesting. This is almost, it kind of looks like the full moon, right? This is the glorious light at the end of the tunnel. This, I think, is, it's a situation that you're emerging from, okay? And with these two cards right in the middle, this is, these are the two this is what we're getting out of. Everything else is spectacular, right? So this is kind of a thing that says, yeah, the grass really is greener on the other side here. Right? We've got the Seven of Cups. You're somebody that is aware of toxicity when you see it. Right? I think you should have a confidence in yourself that you'll know something's dangerous, poisonous, right, before it has a chance to really affect you. The sevens are all about love, self-love. The sevens are all about confidence, right? Confidence that you will do what's right for yourself in any situation. Yeah. Especially to protect yourself. I mean, just look at that. That's not something that you want to eat. That isn't some fruit that we want to consume, right? And I think that you, Pisces, are someone that can trust your instinct about these things, right? Your card is the Moon card. This full moon really does affect you. And I think that in some ways you're just like, well, yeah, it's another full moon. This is where you shine anyway. So you're kind of nonchalant about it. It's just like, yeah, this is my power. This is where, bathing in that full moonlight is kind of where that's your happy place, But I think it is revealing something to you. The moonlight is making that apple tree look a little different. It may look one way in the daylight, in normal, let's say normal consciousness, waking consciousness. But in that moonlight, you can see that, oh, this isn't something for me. So we've got the Ten of Swords. And I think that this is really, this is kind of the, allowing things to come down. Allowing things to be dismantled. Right? It's kind of, in some ways I feel like it's taking all of the daggers out of your heart. And it's kind of the way the card is illustrated. That kind of gives that feeling. But it's almost like, oh, wow, yeah, I got to take myself down off this fence. And it does have that kind of nonchalant feeling. It's like, oh, this isn't for me anymore. I've got to move on. Now, this isn't a relationship reading. It's not a love reading. It's not a career reading. It's not a spiritual reading or a metaphysical psychic reading. This is a life reading. Okay? This is a life reading. So when we say that you are taking these daggers out of yourself, what is it that we're allowing? What is it in our life that we have been allowing to really pierce us? Something that is not good for us, but that we've been enduring anyway. It's time to remove those thorns. Yeah. It's time to remove those thorns. This is anything that's been keeping you back. Right? This is like a slow drip of poison that, not literally, okay, that's not, don't go there. That's not what we're talking about. It is consistently enduring something over time that is keeping us rather locked up. It could be a way of thinking. It could be some indulgences. It could be some friendships. It could be some sort of commitment, some sort of the sense of obligation toward things, right? We don't have to pinpoint it specifically. To me, it kind of feels like it is something that you're indulging in, that you're starting to realize now, it's okay, I'm done, I'm over that. I can see now that maybe at one point this was something fun and good and enjoyable, but now you have the ability to put it down. Right? You've got all this fire energy surrounding you, not to mention this devil energy within you. This is your motor, this is your engine, and you're ready to go. Maybe this was just something simple like idleness or a little bit of, not laziness, Pisces. You're not lazy by any means. I mean, you're all fire and devil ambition after all, right? But I kind of have this vibe, this feeling that I'm getting of we've been standing here for a while. It's time to get on. It's time to get on. And I think you're feeling that too. We've got this goat underneath you. This is it's starting to kick at its pen. It's starting to butt against the chain link fence, right? And because there is this kind of wild ambition, this energy, sometimes the goat can get its horns stuck in the fence. And then it's really in a jam, right? Then it's kind of got to wrestle with it and try to get free. Because there's just so much activity that needs a little bit of direction. Right? Just needs a focus here. Right? And maybe that's kind of what's happened. Maybe that you have all of this creativity, all of this ambition, all of this energy and enthusiasm, this kind of wild, bursting, almost a rage to create, right? And to move and to climb higher and higher. Maybe you got your horns stuck in the fence a little bit. This kind of looks like that fence. Maybe the Ten of Swords is the fence, and now it's starting to rain a little bit, right? So it's getting slippery, it's getting muddy. It's time to really get a move on, We see that urgency up here with the Eight of Wands too. It's swiftness, right? This is the acceptance. This is the wisdom to know when enough is enough. Right, Mercury in Sagittarius. It's kind of, you got to know when to release the arrow, right? So I think things have kind of been, maybe the bow has been drawn pretty tight. And you're just kind of holding it here. For whatever reason, we feel stuck in this position. Well, Mercury says you got to know when to release the arrow. Let your spirit fly, let your ambitions go, let this fire energy out, right? Go through this tunnel, get to that light at the end, that success. This is success. The key word of this card, Six of Pentacles, is material success. Right? This is you finding freedom, finding the life that you want, finding whatever the treasure is, right? Whatever the pot of gold is at the end of the rainbow, this is you finding it. Okay, but we have to know when, okay, we've been here long enough. Let's go. Let's fire that arrow, right? Let's get the goat free of the fence and let's let it out. Let's show it kind of where to go, Let's direct it to the right mountain, the right tunnel, and then let's go, right? Because the Eight of Wands is kind of just, you're stuck in the fence and you keep thrashing around and you're getting more and more stuck. Right, this is a lot of thrashing around. This is a lot of kind of tap dancing in place, fidgeting, nervous energy. The feeling like the urgency, the anxiety, I've got to go somewhere, I've got to do something, but what? Or I can't, I'm stuck. There's something holding me down here, Well, sometimes we just need a good heave-ho. And this is the Queen of Wands. This is kind of taking charge. This is taking the reins of the horse. This is kind of grabbing the goat by the horns and just yanking it out of the fence. The goat may not like it. You may get kicked a couple times by the goat, but you got to free the goat. This is tough love, right? This is tough love. And maybe this is coming from someone else in your life. This sometimes can represent an older feminine energy, maybe a fire sign person. Yeah, it could be someone showing you some tough love, right? That's a possibility. And in some ways we rebel against this. If this is what's happening, and maybe this is all taking place inside of you. Maybe there's one part of yourself that's trying to show yourself some tough love, but then there's another part, the ego part, is trying to resist that tough love. We do see a little bit of resistance here in the position of the environment anyway, with the Two of Wands. It could be that, yes, this person or this side of yourself, this could be your higher mind. It could be an emissary from your higher self, from the spiritual realm, trying to show you some tough love here to get you out of this. And the ego is kind of rejecting it. We don't want that kind of control. We don't want to be told what to do, even by our higher self. So we fight against that, and so it becomes a battle of wills. Who can be the most stubborn, So I feel like it's two forces pushing against each other. And, we've got to eventually yield to this. And I think that's what's going on here in the future position with the Ten of Wands. This is now not the ego doing things on its own, thinking it can lead the way. This is like you and this is ego and higher self in a partnership. This is interdependence. This isn't codependence. This isn't being dominated by another force. This is kind of saying, we can carry this burden together. We can do this work together. So there's a lot of sharing of energy with the Ten of Wands. The key word is oppression, right? Which is kind of like everything's piled on your back. Especially in the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, it's one person holding a big bundle of sticks, a huge burden on their back, and they can't even see where they're going. They're kind of looking down like this, and they're just moving. They have no sense of direction. They have no spiritual sight. They're just carrying their burden, right? It doesn't have to be that way. This card is saying, yeah, there's a burden to carry, but you don't have to do it alone. right? You can do it in tandem with whoever this figure is, if it's an external person, if it is part of yourself, your higher self, if it is your connection with guardian angel, God, goddess, deity, right? But it's that kind of tough love energy. And now we're carrying this burden together, so it makes for an easier trip, you know. So there is a sense of connection and community that's important to you. I think it feels that way. It feels like, in some kind of existential way, life would be too much of a burden if we had to carry it alone, you know. So we need connection. We need partnerships. We need to work in network with others to a greater or lesser extent, depending on your temperament. Okay. But maybe we need some help getting out of this fence that our horns are stuck in, right? So we're going to move to the path of the serpent now. And of course, as I do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. All right. And leave some comments for me. I think my favorite part of all of this is hearing from all of you, right? I really appreciate you all. So in our general energy, we've got this, we're kind of two minds. We've got this Prince of Swords here. So it's a double air energy. It's kind of a fixed air energy. It almost feels like a stubbornness, or it feels like not so much a stubbornness, but that we're right on the fence, right? That we equally want to go, but we equally want to stay. So what the heck do we do? What the heck do we do? We can't stay in this position forever, because this is, having this kind of uncertainty is worse than just committing to one side or the other of the fence, right? So I think what we're really in need of is this kind of spiritual nudge. The Two of Wands comes back to this fire, all of this ambition. Right? Maybe we free the goat. Maybe the goat's going to kind of give us a little bit of a push, you know? Maybe the goat will nudge us in the right direction. Because the Two of Wands here, this is really brute force. This is brute force in the environment. And this, I think, is, well, it's, there's two sides to this card. I think that this is the nudge that you need from your environment, from yourself, from this other type of energy, from this goat, or from this, you know, ancestor, guardian angel, or higher self, true self, whatever we're talking about. That you need this nudge. But at the same time, we have to be careful with the Two of Wands, especially in this position, because we don't want to then go and feel like we've got to nudge everybody else, you know? Because then this is really, now we're starting to feel too much like a goat, and we're just out there like ramming everything, chewing everything up and ramming everybody. And that's a little bit too much force, too much coercion, too much like brute forcing the problem. So we need a little bit of delicateness in our environment, right? This is too much of kind of an over-assertive kind of energy in our relationships, maybe too much fire, too much pressure on other people, maybe, right? Put a little bit of pressure on ourselves to get ourselves moving, but we've got to be careful that this doesn't kind of bleed over into our more intimate relationships, especially, right? So for those of you that are in a romantic relationship, this card is really saying, be careful that you don't have this kind of battle of wills with your partner, or with any intimate relationship, or any relationship generally in your environment outside of yourself, right? We've got to calm this fire down a little bit, right? Because this could lead to a lot of unnecessary fights and arguments and this kind of battle for authority, battle for leadership, you know. two very strong personalities, very strong egos, are going to clash, right? So we need to be careful in especially those intimate relationships, okay? That's putting a lot of strain on them. Anyway, the next card, really, the Moon card, that's your power card. But this is in the position of the obstacle. This is in the position of what we don't want. And I think that this is the journey inward to yourself. And you know this card. You know it's there. You know this is you. And I think that we've been out here in the goat enclosure or whatever, in the mud, in the fence, knowing that we've got to go through this tunnel. That's exactly what this is. This is a tunnel. This is kind of into the underworld, into the darkness, into the unknown, into ourselves. Right? And for whatever reason, I think that we've been putting this off a little bit. But this full moon is here to show you the way, to show you kind of what's on the other side. And to give you that nudge that you need to get unstuck so that we can get back to our work. This is our journey into our own souls, right? The internal world, the underworld. And there's really no certainty that can come, right? We don't know what's on the other side of this. This is a passageway, right? This is you going down into the underworld, into yourself, and we're just expecting the sun to rise in the morning. We're pretty confident that it will, but there is no absolute certainty. The only way to know is to go. Now, you can see that there is this light at the end of the tunnel. You can see that something up there is brilliant and blinding. We're fairly certain that's the sunrise, but we won't know unless we take that journey. Right? Get on that boat and take that ride. Yeah. Take your goat with you. Clean up after it. But this is material success. And this is harmony. This is cooperation. This is beauty and resonance. This is financial success. This is a healthy life. This is really everything is in its place. Every component of life is perfectly balanced and thriving, right? Nothing is being overemphasized. So this fire energy is calming down. It's taking its proper place at the table, right? It's not the kind of mindset that looks at everything like a nail, right? If everything's a nail, everything's going to need some hammering, and that we don't want to approach the world that way. It's a useful tool to have in our toolbox, but there are many, many others. So this is real success. This is not just one thing being kind of overemphasized. Everything is equal. Everything is balanced, right? This is real thriving here. And this is beautiful. This is nice. Let's look at the mystery card, though, shall we? Well, no, you know what I want to do first? For that moon card, I want to do one of these divine doorway cards. This is just some kind of oracle cards. And because we're talking about, well, I guess that's the one. Because we're talking about that moon card being like a tunnel, I feel like it is a doorway. It's a doorway into ourselves, and then we see that light on the other side, right? So what is the doorway? It says, trust the universe. Right? That's a gorgeous door. It says, trust the universe. Intuition has wandered and led you astray. The timing's not yours, but the universe at play. Have faith and breathe. Intuition has wandered and led you astray. Maybe that's getting tangled up in this fence over here. Interesting how kind of on the nose that card is, right? The timing is not yours, but the universe at play. So with this full moon, we don't pick and choose when these kind of doorways open, when these opportunities arise, right? It's the divine timing. So we can't really say, oh, I'm not ready yet. Can I sleep in just a few more minutes? No, it's time to go, right? We're getting that nudge from the universe. The universe isn't on our schedule. We have to kind of adapt You know, we have to be ready at any moment. When we get the signal, you know, we've got to go. I love that card. I like that. That doorway card is really nice. Let's look at the mystery card now. Thank you, Mr. Ed. Gosh, I don't know what I'm really expecting. Maybe some water energy. Maybe we need like a nice, refreshing, maybe we need to get cleaned up, you know, and we need to put out a little bit of this fire as we get advanced in this energy. But I don't know, maybe a major arcana, maybe the Empress. Maybe an emperor, right? Showing that we're using this fire energy, but we have it in a very disciplined and controlled and kind of, you know, mature way, you know. Maybe it's just going to be the moon card again. Maybe the high priestess. The full moon kind of energy. Yeah. Let's see what we've got. Oh, we've got your power card again. I'm going to ring the bell for that one. That's nice. This is kind of like... you know, when we've got two doorways like this, right? So it's almost the idea that we've got to tap back into because again, with that divine door, it says the intuition has wandered. We've got to focus that. We've got to really listen. We've got to feel that nudge. We've got to get back to our work, back to ourselves, back to spirit, and tune into our intuition once again. Okay. This is also the idea that for every tunnel, there's a beginning and an end. Right, a doorway kind of feels like it's just one door. It's one door frame, right? And you just go in, and it's just kind of that's it. But I think that this is a process, and maybe we've been in this tunnel already, and maybe we've just kind of gotten stuck in the tunnel. So maybe this having another moon card is showing us that we're almost at the end. If you've been in a kind of a dark period, maybe that light is really, literally very close, you know, like right now. So we had the beginning of the tunnel, and this is the end of the tunnel. And the end of that tunnel is approaching, and there is a bright light at the end. All right, this is a very, very good confirmation card. I like this one. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click on the link in the corner. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings, not just for Pisces, but for every sign. Okay? I'm here every day from 6 to 8 a.m. Chicago time. I hope you'll come back and see me again tomorrow. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Again, totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. Okay. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.